Good afternoon. I'm Deputy Chief Matheson with Lorain Police Department. On behalf of the City of Lorain, the Lorain Police Department, and the Wagner family, I would like to thank you all for coming today. We'd also like to thank our brothers and sisters in law enforcement and all of our safety forces for all the support they have given us over the last year. I would like to miss our country, the great city of Lorain, our citizens, and the citizens of this country, all over the country, they came and supported us. Today is not only marking a memorial to remember Phil, but it's also a celebration of the man he was, the father, the brother, the son, the officer. So, I would like to introduce Phil's father-in-law, Len Bush.
Good afternoon. Besides being his father-in-law, I was also his pastor for quite a few years. But today, everybody here probably lots of different stories and different things that you may have run across still at different times. There's one thing I would like to point out. I met a guy who I've known for a few years, and I had seen him probably about 6 months ago at Samson. We ran across. We see each other a couple of times a year. And he had no idea that Phil was my son. And after this occurrence, he stopped me after we separated because I needed to tell him something. He goes, I had one occurrence with your son. He was a laundromat here in town. And he goes, there was a call where someone stole someone's clothes as they walked. And Phil and someone else, I believe, was assigned a call when they went there, took everything down, and they went out and they searched for the neighbor's clothes. And they found their clothes, they were all dirty again. And they brought them all back to her. And the guy that was there, and she was all upset because she didn't have enough money to wash her clothes all over again. And he goes, that moment touched me so much because there's some moment she was in his pocket, pulled out a $20 bill, and said, here, go wash your clothes. Folks, speaking from a pastor, people go through different things in life. We don't know what people are going through. We don't know who's watching out of the world. Random acts of kindness can change the world. So I want to challenge a couple of groups of people today. To think about doing a random act of kindness some afternoon. And also in community, when you see a police officer, reach out to them. They're not there to hurt you, they're there to help you. But also you have friends, you have neighbors, you have family in your community. And I challenge you to do the same thing. One random act of kindness that can change your life. And today we're going to do this after the service here. And one of Phil's favorite foods was hot dogs and ice cream. We're going to cook you hot dogs and ice cream for everyone that's here. As a random act of kindness. This is what's going to bring a community back together. And hopefully you'll understand that this is what maintains a community. That we are all family, one way or the other. Whether we're in blue or we're living down the street. So I thank you for coming out today. We're going to pray. Father, we thank you for this opportunity to get here today and to celebrate Phil's life. The people that we don't even know in the community that he did touch. The acts of kindness we don't even know existed. He didn't do it for glory or for praise. No one even knew what he was doing. When he touched a person's life, actually two people's lives. And Father, we thank you for having it in our lives for the time that you gave us. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Lenny. Now I would like to introduce State Representative Joan Miller.
Good afternoon. It's a solemn occasion, but it is also a time of celebration. We think about law enforcement differently when things like this happen. I think back, it could have been my uncle, could have been my brother, could have been my neighbor, could have been someone in our community, and it was. In this case, for the family, it was near and dear. For the department who worked beside them, for everybody here. On behalf of my office, State Representative Joe Miller, I'd like to read this proclamation in honor of Officer Phillip Wagner on the 1-year anniversary of his end of watch. Whereas Officer Wagner dutifully served in the United States Marine Corps and was deployed on 2 tours abroad. Whereas Officer Wagner served in the Lorain Police Department for 3 years and with the Sheffield Village Police Department for 4 years before that. Whereas on July 23rd, 2025, heroically defended himself and his fellow officers against a deranged criminal. Whereas on July 24th, 2025, Officer Wagner tragically passed away from his injuries. Whereas the Lorain community is forever in his debt to our men and women in blue, who give the ultimate sacrifice for our safety. Be it resolved that on this first anniversary of Officer Wagner's end of watch, the Lorain community honors the life and sacrifice of our brother, Officer Wagner. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I would like to introduce Mayor Jack Bradley. He has stood by our side through this unwavering support for us.
Thank you, everyone, for being here today. 1 year ago yesterday, our city experienced one of the darkest days in its history. On this day 1 year ago, a husband was taken from his wife and his young children. They lost their father. Our police department lost a brother. And the city of Lorain lost one of our finest public servants. Today we gather not simply to remember how Officer Wagner died, but to celebrate how he lived. Philip chose a profession that demanded courage every single day. He put on the badge, knowing that every shift carried uncertainty. Yet he answered that call with honor, humility, and unwavering commitment. He believed that protecting others was more than a job. It was a calling. Phil's sacrifice reminds us that freedom, safety, and peace in our neighborhoods are never accidental. They exist because men and women like Phil are willing to stand watch, while the rest of us sleep or simply enjoy each day. Phil and his fellow officers do not run from danger when others would run away. They all believe in the motto, service over self. Today we also remember those who continue to carry this loss every day. To his wife, his children, his parents, his family, and all who loved him, please know that Lorain has not forgotten. We will never forget. To the members of the Lorain Police Department, and to our heroes, Brett Payne and Peter Gale, thank you. Thank you for continuing to serve with courage, despite the pain of losing one of your own. Every day, you honor Philip by wearing the same badge with the dedication that he did. As mayor, I pledge that Officer Wagner's memory will remain woven into the fabric of our city. Future generations will know his name. They will know that when Lorain needed him the most, he served with courage and honor. While 1 year has passed, our gratitude has not diminished, our sorrow has not disappeared, and our commitment to remembering him has only grown stronger. May we not only honor him with words today, but by striving to build a city worthy of the sacrifice he made. As his father-in-law said, we need to do acts of kindness. We have it on our board here that we want to do 250 acts of kindness this year, but we need to do more than that. And this is an act of kindness for all of you to be here today and continue to do these acts of kindness. We are a city united in compassion, respect, justice, and certainly hope. Officer Wagner's watch ended 1 year ago, but his legacy will never end. May God continue to bless the Wagner family. May God bless the men and women of the Lorain Police Department. And may God bless the memory of Officer Phillip Wagner. And God bless all of you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mayor. Shortly after Phil passed, his fellow officers founded a foundation in his name. So from the Phillip Wagner Foundation, Officer here.
Hello, my name's Eric Rivera. I've been blessed to become part of this foundation, Phillip Wagner Foundation. Prior to me getting into that, I know that they shared some stories about Phil, but I'm going to share a little bit more about him. He was a good friend of mine, a good friend of others on this department, and most of us have come to know him by his nickname, P-Wags. We gave it to him graciously because he was an avid fan of firearms, and not to go too deep into it, we came up with that name. So, I'll refer to him as P-Wags because he loved it. It always brought a smile to his face, so I'm going to continue that legacy for him today. And I'd like everybody else to understand that. And when you refer to him, maybe refer to him as P-Wags. He loved it, and as I can see right now, he's probably smiling and thanking me right now for actually bringing it up for other people to also know it. So, with that being said, there was a lot of somber talk, so I'm going to bring a little bit more of some joy to it. Phil was that kind of guy to when we came to work and maybe we pulled up side to side, and I know everybody that has a job would complain about that, right? We don't look at the blessings that are there, but Phil was the guy to where you pulled side to side with him after a call and began to talk to him, and he would kind of remind you of what your blessings were. And he would tell you, hey, look, it ain't that bad for these reasons, or it's not that bad for these reasons. Look at the people that we serve. Some of them are less fortunate than we are. And actually bring us back to where we need to be at. And you could tell that this man's faith was a lot stronger than a lot of others. So Phil was an awesome human being. I still look at him as an awesome human being. I think about him constantly. Today's a hard day. Yesterday was a hard day. Every day's a hard day. But when you think about him, that's not what it is that he would have wanted you to think about. Phil would say, hey man, let's have a good day today. Let's talk about some maybe firearms accessories or some firearms, or let's talk about how, maybe a sports game or something like that. So Phil always wanted to bring people up, uplift them, and train so that he could become better, so that way he could better serve the community and the people that were around him. So if we can remember him for most anything, a man of faith, a man who cared about everybody around him, not just those that he knew, because that man trained hard to be able to serve his community and to be able to serve others. And just to see that love that he brought not only to this profession, to the community, to his family, and to his friends, I know that it's permeated amongst everybody that he knows. So he was a great honor to know, and he will continue to live on regardless. And with that, we'll kind of segue into the foundation and how and why it was created. So Phil served on the Lorain Police Department SWAT team, and he worked his butt off to get to that point. It was one of the milestones that he wanted to achieve, and he achieved it. And with that, he wasn't focused on, hey, look, these are the credentials or anything else. He was focused on the fact that he could take that and use that to help other people. So with that, the team has decided, what better way to continue to help his legacy live on than by continuing to do what it is that he was doing prior to his passing. So the foundation was created in order to be able to support other law enforcement families that are going through the same tragedies, to be able to be there for them, not only on that day, but in the future. Birthdays, graduations, you name it, because he should be there. Other officers should be there, and that's what Phil would have wanted. Not only that, the foundation was created to also make sure that without a doubt, Phil's family is also going to be taken care of. The foundation is also building to be able to build scholarships, so that way we can support other young men and women who want to get into this profession, but maybe they don't have the funds to be able to do so. So we would like to be able to help provide for their financial assistance, for the schooling, for maybe the gear, the education, so that they can come out into the communities that they serve as well, and not have to worry about, hey, I don't have enough money to go out there and do it. Because some of the best people in the world that exist here right now, and will come in the future, they come from nothing, but they want to come up to do something, and we're also here to help them with that. So the Phil Wagner Foundation is here to offer a lot of different avenues for families, for future officers, and again, to continue to protect, or to continue to support and help the Wags family. If you guys would like to learn any more about it, please, by all means, fill up. You can go online, you can go to philwagnerfoundation.org. You can learn a whole lot more about it. I appreciate everybody here. I thank you for coming out. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Eric. The next person I'm going to call up was put in command of our police department shortly before this incident happened. It's hard enough taking over a police department, but when an incident like this happens, it's unbelievable. Chief Mike Failing has led us through this last year with professionalism, with grace, and an unwavering caring for each and every one of us, especially the Wagner family. Chief Michael Failing.
Good afternoon, and thank you all for being here. Today we gather to add the names of actually two officers to our memorial. Two men who made the ultimate sacrifice while serving the citizens of Lorain. Although separated by more than a century, they are forever united by their commitment to the profession and by the price they paid in service to others. While conducting historical research on our department, retired Lieutenant Jack Fleming uncovered the story of Officer Frank Hall, ensuring that his sacrifice will never again be forgotten. Officer Frank Hall was a well-known and highly respected member of the Lorain Police Department. On the evening of March 17, 1906, he was faithfully carrying out his duties along Broadway Avenue and was reported to be in excellent health and good spirits. In the early hours of Sunday morning, March 18th, he responded to assist Officer Henry Meister with the arrest of an intoxicated individual. Following a difficult struggle to take the suspect into custody, Officer Hall remarked that he was feeling unwell and returned home. Within only a few hours, he passed away from heart failure, brought on by the physical exertion of that arrest. At the time of his death, Officer Hall was the department's longest-serving officer, having been appointed by Mayor Wiggins in 1894. Though his career lasted only 12 years, his dedication to this community left a lasting legacy. Today, more than 120 years later, it is our privilege to ensure that his sacrifice receives the recognition it has always deserved. Before we continue, I would ask that everyone join me in observing a moment of silence. As we dedicate Officer Frank Paul's name today, we are reminded that the dangers of this profession are not confined to history. Just 19 days ago, on July 5th, 2026, Ohio law enforcement lost another hero when Sergeant Scott Reese was killed on the line of duty. Though he served a different community, his sacrifice is one that every member of law enforcement feels personally. Today we honor not only Officer Frank Paul, Officer Phil Wagner, but Sergeant Scott Reese, and every officer who has given their life in service to others. Please join me in a moment of silence to remember their sacrifice and to keep their families, friends, and fellow officers in your thoughts. Thank you. 1 year ago today, our department suffered another unimaginable loss with the assassination of Officer Phil Wagner. The Lorain Police Department did not experience a tragedy of this magnitude for more than 80 years, and it devastated every member of this department. But in the darkest moments, we also witnessed the very best of humanity. For every act of evil, there was an even greater outpouring of compassion. The support we received from our law enforcement family, our local community, neighboring communities, and people from across the country was overwhelming. No words can fully express our gratitude, nor can we ever truly repay the kindness that was shown to us. That support carried this department and Phil's family through one memorial after another, from the Lorain County Peace Officers Memorial to the Ohio Peace Officers Memorial, and ultimately to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial in Washington, D.C. At every stop, there was someone there to guide us, comfort us, and help us carry the weight of our lives. While those ceremonies were an incredible honor, they were also emotionally and physically exhausting. After speaking with Phil's wife, Jess Wagner, we decided to hold our hometown memorial away this week, allowing our department, Phil's family, and this community the opportunity to come together in a more personal way. Jess also wanted this day to be about the people who had stood beside her and her family during their most difficult moments. When I asked her what Phil would have wanted, her answer perfectly captured the man we all knew. She said Phil loved spending time with family and friends. He loved standing around the grill, pushing hot dogs, sharing stories, laughing, and enjoying his favorite ice cream, cookies and cream. Jess said something that has stayed with me ever since. Why don't we combine this memorial with a community cookout? Not everything we do for Phil has to be sung. Phil wanted a somber guy. She was absolutely right. Today is a day of remembrance, but it's also a day of gratitude. As we gather to dedicate Officer Phil Wagner's name to our wall of honor, we also celebrate the life he lived, the people he loved, the community that embraced his family when they needed it the most. Officer Frank Paul and Officer Phil Wagner came from different generations, but they still shared the same oath, the same courage, the same willingness to place themselves in harm's way for people they may never have known. Their names will now stand together on this memorial, not simply as names engraved in stone, but as reminders of lives lived in service, sacrifices made without hesitation, and a profession built upon honor, duty, and selflessness. May we never forget their sacrifice. May we continue to support one another as this community has done so beautifully over the past year. And may we honor Frank Paul Phil Wagner, not only with our work today, but by living the lives worthy of the examples they set. As we conclude this ceremony, I ask that we remember something just shared with me. She reminded me today it should not only be about how Phil died, but how he lived. Thank you all for being here, and may God continue to bless the families of Frank Hall and Officer Phil Wagner, the members of the Lorain Police Department, and this incredible community.
Thank you, Chief. Next, I would like to introduce Megan Wagner, Phil's sister.
Good afternoon. My name is Megan, and I am Phil's sister. It has been a year since we lost our beloved Phil, and our lives changed forever. My doing this last year would have been impossible. Last year, I was incapable of forming the words to describe the complex set of emotions I was feeling, even in my own mind, much less speak them aloud. And still, those emotions are a complex mixture of grief, sadness, and disbelief, but also of hope and love. Love from each other, our friends and family, police officers, and you, the community, whose love and support for Phil have truly been tremendous sources of hope and comfort to us. Your love is armor around our broken hearts. On the day of his funeral, you couldn't see us as we drove from North Ridgeville to Cleveland and then to Bellevue, but we saw you. The trucks and flags and signs and so many community members standing alongside the highway and in the town, expressing gratitude for Phil's life and honoring all of the sacrifices he made for his country and community, an honor he deserved. Particular thanks and gratitude goes to the police departments that protected us and provided for us. Lorain, Sheffield Village, Elyria, North Ridgeville, Cleveland, they stood guard outside our homes, bought us groceries, made us meals, took extra shifts, and responded to our every need. It was so incredible to witness the outpouring of support and honor for our brother in such a magnificent way. He was a simple guy, but he deserved the heroes he sent out to see. For that, we are humble and grateful. In the last chapter of his life, everyone came to know Phil as a police officer. But my brother, mother, and I had the privilege of knowing Phil every day of his life, from the day of his birth to his final breath. To me, he was my baby brother, and we shared a childhood. Some of my dearest memories of our shared childhood include all of those times we snuck out of bed early on Christmas morning to go looking for our presents. Our father was an astronomer, and we spent countless nights as a family staring up at the sky. We grew up in Arizona, but took our family vacations here to Ohio to stay with our grandparents in the country. Our summers consisted of catching lightning bugs, fishing in our aunt's pond, driving a go-kart our grandfather built, and running amok with our cousins. As a child, he was immensely creative, and his preferred medium was cardboard. He used cardboard, Legos, markers, batteries, and tape to create his own toys, everything from model laptops and cell phones to airplane cockpits. He loved animals. He was ornery, funny, and particularly good at impressions. After we all joined the military and scattered around the world, we stayed close to video games. We played the same game over and over again. We didn't need anything new. In the chaos of our lives, the familiar gameplay centered us and gave us a chance to talk. The man behind the badge was deeply caring, deeply loyal, funny, and adventurous. His favorite place was home, and his greatest desire in life was for family. I will forever cherish the memory of when he called me to tell me about a great first date he had with a girl from North Ridgeville, and later when he told me he was going to propose to her. He was at his absolute best when his children were in his arms. And to know Phil is to know that he was a warrior. We were the 9/11 generation. and there was no stopping him from joining the Marine Corps. Right after high school, he went to the military, and then he went to war. Like all combat veterans, war deeply affected him. He carried within him the loss of Lance Corporal Mike Freeman, killed February 1st, 2010, in combat operations against the Taliban. 2nd Battalion, 2nd Marines lost 8 Marines in that deployment. And because he carried their stories so close to home, losing Phil was like losing those Marines all over again. As the funeral procession was leaving North Bridgeville last year, heading towards Cleveland, we passed the retirement home, and there by the road, an elderly veteran in his uniform stood swooning. He understood, more than any of us, the heart and sacrifice of a warrior. Remember them all, remember their sacrifice. It can be hard to find meaning in tragedy. Even in our times of doubt, we rest in trust of God's plan. We lost our dad very suddenly 2 years before we lost Phil. To be faced with 2 losses so close together sometimes feels incomprehensible. But now I take comfort in knowing that our dad is there to embrace Phil on the other side. What can we take from such losses? Prioritize those we love most and appreciate every moment spent together. Unconditional love is a gift. It's the price. For greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. Our Phil is reunited with our father and the generations that came before. He is reunited with his fellow service members who did not make it home before, and he is home, waiting for us when it is our time to join him. Until Valhalla.
Thank you, Megan. Next, I would like to introduce possibly one of the strongest people I have ever had the honor to meet, Miss Jess Wagner.
I'm short, sorry. So is Phil, it's fine. Thank you guys all for coming. I have not publicly spoken out, other than a news story right after everything happened, but I wanted to take this opportunity to thank each and every individual. First off, Lorain Police Department for being so supportive and being there for our family in this time of immense tragedy. From the officers that came to get me that day to today, each one of you have been such a calming presence in our lives. So much so to the point that every time my children pass the police department, they think they can just walk in and do whatever they want to, because they can do that here. I'd also like to thank the community of Lorain. I think there's so much put out in social media today that people hate the police. They think that they're for negative things, and it's really shown us over the last year that people don't. People support the police, and people are thankful for the police and all that they do. And that's why we wanted to be here and to serve you guys, was to show that we're all one community. The citizens of Lorain, the officers of Lorain, and the surrounding cities, we're all one community. Not very many people got the opportunity to know Phil like I did specifically, and he was my best friend. He could make me laugh easier than anyone, and that's the moment my dad knew that I was going to marry him, was because of the way he made me laugh. And he loved his job. If he had a favorite job, he would have told you it would have been in the Marine Corps, but then his second favorite job was law enforcement. And about a month before he was killed, he said, I don't think I'm doing enough. I don't think that I'm helping enough. I don't think I'm doing the things that I need to be doing. And he's like, maybe it's time for me to find another job. Maybe it's another city, maybe it's another job, I just don't know. And I'm like, do you really want to do that? Like, you're not an officer. do you really want to do that? And he's like, well, no, but I don't feel fulfilled. And so he was looking around at other things that he could do, and he's like, I need an answer. I need God to give me an answer. So he was working probably about 3 weeks before he passed, and he was saying how he was praying and hoping that God would speak to him about what to do. And I had a Bible verse on my phone every day, and I read it to him about staying where you are, because God's going to use you in the place that you are. And I sent that to him, and he goes, I think I know what that means. And I said, I think you do too, and I do. And so that was the unspoken decision that he needed to stay in Lorain where God put him. And little did we know, about a month later, God would use him to immensely protect the city in a way that none of us had ever imagined. And so I would like us from this day forward, as I consider this a new year for my family, instead of it starting on January 1st, it starts on July 24th for us, that we walk into this new year without Phil, seeing the joy in things, seeing the ways that we can impact others, and the things that you can do to make somebody realize that they are where they need to be. So, that being said, thank you all so much for being here. It has been an honor to be loved on by this city and served by this city, and it is an honor for us to be able to serve you too. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jess. Now our honor guard will be presenting a wreath in memory of Phil. In closing, I again would like to thank everyone for coming, all the support you've shown the Wagner family and our police department. And there's just one more thing left to do. Some hot dogs and some ice cream. Please join us back down by the sidewalk. Thank you all for coming. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, go ahead.